across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. "22 men ready to do battle. It's time to dance." And we are underway from MetLife Stadium. And this opening dynamic kickoff not going to be returned. It'll come out to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run for the first time with a speedster, Jahmyr Gibbs. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. And now they'll shift things around. They'll go again with Tracy. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. They'll set up a throw. That is caught. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 17 yards and a giant first down. And there you go, Charles, the first completed pass of his young career.
And we expect it not to be his last. Very good to get the first one out of the way, though, as he begins his career.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's got this down to the 35. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
Tracy going to get it on 1st down. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Straight ahead, here's Tracy. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Right back to Tracy. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That burst good for 20 and a first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
They'll hand it to Tracy. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give the tackle to Tease Tabor that time. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On to give, it's Tracy. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up first and goal. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
First and goal, a good chance for our first touchdown of the new season. They're going to run this with a tight end. And he is in. Touchdown, New York. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Giants are on the board here first in the season opener. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the fourth quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. So first and 10 now from the 30. Now McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33. Here's 2nd and 7. And now an audible here into something else. To the air with McCarthy. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
They need 18 yards here on 3rd down. Throwing is McCarthy. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. He's on his way. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Suddenly, it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. On the run is Tracy. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Here's Tracy. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Giants are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
You get in a second and long situation down here in the red zone. I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass. Let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground. And he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback. And we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown. So decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. To the right side, and he's got more complete. Will go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be second down.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. And he'll go right back to Moore. Complete again. Down the sideline he goes. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there. 45 yards. And the Vikings have got it back to within a score. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Oh, well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. From the end zone is Smith-Marset. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. So for this offense, Charles, remember, drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute, but did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it, and afterwards they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
51 yards rushing for him in this first half as he is looking in mid-season form here in the opener. Second down and 4. Not liking the look. They'll change the play. Running left is Tracy. He'll get a yard. That's all as they get him down at the 28.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Here's 3rd and 3. They'll set up to throw. Pass to the sideline and pulled in.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Returning it is Moore. Escapes the defender. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. An inside give to Jones. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard. 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs. Keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
Here's McCarthy. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Up the middle, Jones. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Looking to throw McCarthy. Slant route, and he's got Addison. And he's going to be touched down, but he's got the 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Back to throw now on first down. Flush to his right. Touchdown! From 21 yards away.
And the Vikings are an extra point away from evening this one up.
I feel like I'm back in school. What was that book, you know? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. This has been a tale of 2 quarters so far. They trailed 14-0 after 1. How about the rally we've been watching?
Yeah, a couple of touchdowns. PAT here to tie it up. This is a good ball game all of a sudden.
The extra point splits the uprights, and we are tied at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away.
From the end zone is Smith-Marset. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
And that 14-0 lead to begin the ball game, well, that's gone now. Time to regroup.
I think even up 2 touchdowns, they knew this wasn't going to be a walk in the park, and I think that's why we would see the head coach going up and down the sidelines telling his team, let's stay with it, let's keep going. It's almost like he knew they were going to make their run at him, and they have. As you said, let's see if they can regroup and get going again.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game.
Fans, a reminder, coming up at this and every halftime this season, we'll be checking in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando for highlights and analysis and scores from around the NFL here in this opening weekend.
Let's put the coach to work.
Second down and 8.
They'll look to throw here.
And they were looking to set up the screen, but that's going to be incomplete. Almost wound up going the other way. Well covered defensively, and it'll bring up third down.
I can assure you, setting up a screen is much more difficult than it appears. It requires excellent timing from everyone on the offense, and a defense's #1 goal is to throw that timing off.
On third down, he'll drop to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40.
Nice throw there by the rookie from Ole Miss. And he's got his guys a first down. A nice completion there for the first down. And, Charles, you think about the quarterbacks of recent vintage that have been thrust into action week 1. It's no guarantee of future success, but we sure have seen some good ones.
We certainly have, partner. How about Joe Burrow with the Bengals in 2020? He was excellent. Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. The best part about his game has his team right at the brink of the playoffs. And Deshaun Watson has won division titles after having started from day 1. If you're in the offensive huddle, you're smiling after that play because you've certainly got them guessing now. Second and short, could they just hand it off for another big gain? Or do they take advantage of this spot to take a big shot downfield?
Now they'll change things up. There's a short one caught by Johnson.
And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
A nice throw right there, and these fans getting their first look at their QB1 of the future. I'd imagine it's got to be a big plus for him to get his first start here in front of that home crowd.
I know there's a school of thought about getting your first start away from home so you don't have the extra pressure of that crowd behind you. But I say ride the wave. Embrace it. Go ahead and play to that level, and I think it's going to benefit him in the long run.
On on the ground. Here comes Tracy.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there.
Here's 2nd and 10.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 40-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground. Tracy. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
And that could be one of those turning point plays in a ball game. A field goal gets you the lead here, but they want to make a statement and get 6 points. And they're certainly going to get that opportunity as they get the conversion and set up 1st and goal.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
A pickup of 2 brings up 2nd and goal.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And this one is right through. And that will do it for this first half. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff. And the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. It's got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
Second and 10. Working out of the gun is McCarthy. Over the middle and complete to Addison. And he'll get positive yardage there as he'll be touched down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield. for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short.
No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
How about this? They'll change it at the line. They'll try and run for it. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
So did you suspect the same thing that I did, that they were lining up just to draw them off sides here?
100%.
Well, how about that? They were going for it the entire time. Never a question in his mind about going ahead and getting it, despite where they were on the field.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard it in my voice when they snapped the ball. I was like, I almost wasn't ready to call the play. I just kept waiting for the timeout offensively. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
That's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
From the 42 now, here's 2nd and 2. Now they'll audible to something else. Now a handoff to Chandler. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw. McCarthy. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Again, a good friend in football always talks about predictive history. He's got one of their 2 touchdowns. You can understand why they tried to find him again. Weren't able to connect, but the thought, that was good.
Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet. They're going to go for it on 4th. An audible here to get a new look. They'll indeed go. Here's McCarthy. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. So now following the roll of the dice, they've got a 1st and 10 inside the 35.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun.
Middle of the field to Jefferson.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it's 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now Chandler.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
3rd down and 1. Addison will go in motion left. They'll go with a touch pass here, trying to pick it up.
And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
And this is just a little touch pass. They send the receiver in motion, just kind of tap it forward to him. Now, it doesn't turn into a huge play, but they do pick up a first down, a nice, consistent gain.
You can just kind of sense the momentum turning here. It's 1st and 10.
They run it with Chandler.
And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
The running game's played a huge part in getting them down to this point on the field. I say stay with it. Keep pounding the football. Keep driving. Keep grinding.
Yeah, even down in the red zone, keep going for it.
No doubt about it. Dance with what brung you.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Vikings have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the 2nd half.
Extra point right down the middle. And that will make this a 4-point game. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Now they'll change things around before the snap. They'll start with a run by Tracy.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
But they're certainly not neglecting their run duties as well as they ate up the blockers in front and allowed the secondary to get home.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. Tracy. And he will maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And that's also all for this 3rd quarter of play. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's the Giants with possession of the football, but needing points as we start quarter number 4. The Giants on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. They'll drop to throw. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Just week one, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now a handoff up the middle. Tracy. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll look to throw. Of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch from Viking territory now. They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Up the middle they go. Tracy. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 22.
Now a handoff up the middle. Tracy. And he's going to have a gain of 11 to the 11 before he's brought down. 1st and 10.
That's good for a Giants. 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground. Tracy. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Ball at the 9 on 2nd and 8.
Now the first carry here for the running back. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown.
And the Giants answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead. Plenty of scoring here of late, and our lead changes hands now in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they just gave up a touchdown the other end, so they knew that with time getting short, they had to put something together here, and they were able to do so and retake the lead right back.
Point after, right down the middle, and that gives them a 3-point lead. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the 4th quarter.
Flushed out right.
This will be caught downfield by Moore.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Give him 32 on the play.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking to throw. McCarthy. He gets it to Addison. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 3.
Back to throw. McCarthy.
To the sideline and incomplete.
Absolutely nowhere to go with the football, and he's just going to put this one in the Hudson River. Maybe he's a little fortunate he didn't get called for grounding because that one was well over everyone's head.
By the way, you'd be looking at about a 47-yarder from here as they come up on an important 3rd down.
McCarthy going to throw again. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. Well, looks like they'll move things around here. Here's Chandler.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
Well, they'll come up now. This is 2nd and long.
They'll keep it on the ground. Chandler, and they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line.
When people talk about plays being blown up, that's exactly what they're talking about. That's Exhibit A for physical play.
This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long.
Back to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he'll get inside the 10, but he's short of the line he needed. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to tie things up in the final minute. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will tie this game here in the final minute of play.
So a big kick to get this back to even. Yet now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Because another field goal the other way, that does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get into overtime yet. So now as a defense, you've got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you, but you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two, play the best defense you can, and not make it easy for them to move the ball downfield.
Here's 1st and 10. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. Here's 1st down. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he is out of bounds with the 1st down as the clock ticks inside of 30 seconds.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
2 timeouts still in their back pocket. It's 1st and 10. And now they'll shift things around. On 1st down, Tracy. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. They'll come up now on 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Tracy. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Well, this one's had a season's worth of thrills already, and it's still week 1. Here's 3rd down now. The 20. That's caught by Johnson. And he's in. Are you kidding me?
How do you get that up?
One of the most improbable ways to finish a game.